Stephanie Diaz de Leon.
This is Omar Wahid.
And this is Rob Travel.
And it's 365 Amplified. I almost forgot how to open this. It's only been a week since I've been here, and I'm losing touch.
Well, you did right. You nailed it first take.
And we are doing it at a different time.
We are doing it at a different time?
And
out there. And I know, we were just talking about this room. You also have my seat, Rob, and it's upsetting.
She did eyeball my seat. There.
Like,
no, I sit there.
And I was like, I don't want to sit at the head of the table. It's just Rob's seat. And this feels wrong. And I get why. We can't, because you need access to that little thing that you touch.
To the board.
That's not the head of the table. And that's the head of the table.
There's a table at the head on both sides. I'm at one of the head of the tables. And quite frankly, when I sit there, it's always the head of the table that I'm at.
No. That's the foot of the table. The head of the table is the end of the table furthest away from the door.
No, nobody wants that. I also don't like that I can't see the door. I need exits and entrances. I need to be able to see them. I am brown, Rob. Why are you taking the spot? I'm a mess.
Anyway, yeah. But you still managed to nail the opening on the first take, which is very impressive.
Now everyone knows about seat placement.
You're right.
Oh,
yep.
Thank
you, Omar.
Thank you, Omar,
You're
for
welcome.
that
I
whiteness.
know this because I refuse to sit at the foot of the table.
Why?
Just because.
Because you can't see the...
Well, that.
Oh, I like to see everything.
But also, it's a running bit for me. And when I sit at the head of the table during a meeting, I like to say, thank you all for coming. You may be wondering why I've gathered you here today. And then everyone gets mad every time.
Well, then do you then also what then do you answer? Like, how do you answer the question? Like, why I gathered you all today? Because.
No, they just groan because it's usually not my meeting.
Yeah. Oh, I would have just made something up. Why not finish a sentence? Finish a sentence.
Listeners, how many of you have hit that skip 30 seconds button by now?
45 for some of us.
No, they all listen to my joke.
I'm sure.
Maybe that's the question. Like, why have you gathered us all together today?
2 podcasts is why we've gathered today.
Forget it. Rob ruined it. Okay, let's go ahead and move into, because we got some interesting things to talk about today.
2 big stories to talk about today.
You do, and I want to say and preface that these two purposely are not telling me things within both their stories because they want me to react live.
Have you seen those live reaction videos? They get so many hits.
We get so many hits. So the reactions I might give might be out of pocket, and that's fine. We know who I am. So go ahead.
The first one I want to talk about is there's I don't know if technically strike is the word because it's technically not a union, but there's a work stoppage, a work slowdown, a walkout in Monroe, Wisconsin, and Omar went down there the other day.
Yes.
Tell us what's happening, Omar.
If you've never been to Monroe, it's a very scenic drive.
It is.
I did enjoy that. It's definitely one of the more pleasurable drives throughout Wisconsin, but going there was not for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
A strike at I guess technically not a strike, at a Monroe cheese factory is currently underway, where 43 of WW and Dairy's remaining employees, after it was acquired by Kansas City-based Dairy Farmers of America, are requesting severance after more than half of the employees already left, with the new company requiring all existing employees to verify their eligibility to work in the United States.
Specifically through the E-Verify system, right?
Specifically through the E-Verify system. It's a mess.
And there, my sense is that from your reporting is that these 50 something people just were like, okay, fine, I'm out, right? And 43 more people are not even asking to keep their jobs necessarily. They're saying, if we can't work here anymore, pay a severance, because these are not migrant workers, right? These are people who've been working there 10 years or more.
The majority of the people who have worked at WW Dairy have worked there for over a decade. So these are
ingrained, embedded into culture and system workers. These aren't people who are came in for 6 months and then they're being asked to leave.
No. These are very long-term employees with, decent pay, benefits, ingrained in the community, like Rod said. And the new company
has decided to do something that makes all of the current employees or now former employees feel
uncomfortable and unsafe with current work arrangements
Yeah.
there. So on August 12th, the workers actually walked out on the job after a reported threat to call ICE for organizing activities.
So they were just talking about maybe joining a union or organizing in some way.
Just at least organizing in some way, talking to some unions, talking to some groups. They aren't unionized. They haven't formed a union. They haven't joined a union. But management threatened to call ICE over the pure act of doing some protected labor action.
Gotcha.
Or just like, talking with some friends about like, hey, what is happening with you and how do we make this better? Right? Or the right to assembly.
Right.
Exactly. But they still had some talks with management about them wanting severance. Management was supposed to get back to them on August 18th. They did not. On August 19th, the following day, they held a press conference to enlighten the community about what's happening at W&W Dairy. Sorry, I'm getting Dairy Farmers of America and WW Dairy mixed up a little bit there. But essentially the same people for all purposes right now. They haven't given them it. That's it. They don't know what's going to happen. The workers are worried. They haven't heard back from management. There's no indication that management is actually going to get back to them.
Yeah, they're waiting them out, I'm sure.
Basically, and the workers are already kind of feeling that pressure. They're worried for how they're going to care for their families. They're worried about what they're going to do for work. They do figure mostly that they are going to have to end up leaving relatively soon and may not get their severance, but the community is rallying behind them.
What specific severance are they asking for? How much severance are they asking for?
They're open to negotiating, but they're going for like a standard 3 weeks of pay for every year worked.
Okay. Which still is pretty standard if somebody gets laid off. You get a couple weeks pay for every year that you work there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But management did get back to you. Right?
Yes, we decided not to reach out to management initially because other people have written about the situation already from August 12th, and they did not get back to anyone. But after we published, they decided to get back to me, and they sent me a riveting statement. In that statement, Dairy Farmers of America stated that their intention was to retain...
Tell me your intention now.
Exactly. This is why we didn't want to tell you.
Let's talk about their intentions. We know what you intended, even if you didn't want to say it out loud. And this little statement, whatever you're about to tell me, ain't real. It's only a reaction and a reflection of the bad press you're getting right now from that city and the state. We're a cheese state. You're harming one of our important commodities to keep our cities growing and be able to support each other and themselves.
Well, and
so
it's worth saying that with in Omar's initial story, Christine Newman Ortiz from Voces de la Frontera was there and mentioned that, Wisconsin being America's dairyland and cheese being our chief export.
Yes.
People have to understand the cheese industry in the state is driven by Latino people.
It is absolutely. In Monroe, they grew how many by percentage in terms of since a lot, well, over 200% of the population grew, immigrant population grew. And it's not like folks aren't trying to do things the right way. Right. Crime did not go up in Monroe with the number of folks who have immigrated into that space. Instead, small businesses popped up, y'all. Folks learning Spanish popped up, y'all. It wasn't a harm to the city or to this company, who was then also able to get to hire folks willing to do the work at a fair labor practice and who stayed with them for 10 years. Do you know how much money companies save when they get to retain their employees, when they don't go through a process of having to rehire and train all the time? Millions of dollars.
Which brings us back to the statement, which was that they intended
to retain 100% of the W&W workforce as part of the acquisition, We are working with WW Dairy to transition existing workers to DFA employees effective September 2025, which is what they said.
But what did they do instead?
With the intention to retain 100% of the WW workforce as part of the hiring process to become DFA employees, all WW workers and other applicants were notified of the need to provide documents to complete both an I-9 form and the E-Verify process. In the event any applicant choose not to provide the required documentation or the E-Verify process was not successfully completed, DFA's ability to offer employment was impacted. And then they
that passive voice.
Oh no!
Now it's not them; it's everybody else's fault.
It is everybody else.
It's not that we can't hire you; it's that our ability to hire you was impacted.
Yes, they did take jab at news coverage about what's happening. They said some media outlets have incorrectly reported that a new company policy is to blame for workers not having a job, which we did not say. It was a new policy. I didn't see anything that said anyone said it was a new policy.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not a new DFA policy. We take compliance with state and federal labor laws very seriously and are committed to complying with federal employment eligibility requirements. Now, that part's very, very important because those eligibility requirements from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services specifically outlines what they're supposed to do in mergers and acquisitions, where they have two options. They can treat them as new hires and re-verify.
Yep.
Or
finish sentence.
They can treat them as continuing employees. And they don't
have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to, this is a choice. What they forgot to put in there was we went with one method to certify these employees, and we didn't have to. And we chose that method on purpose.
And it's not like they don't know their status, because part of the process of getting these employees is that they got all their I-9 forms.
Yeah.
They've all already been verified. All that it's doing is inviting worry.
And fear, right? And not feeling like you belong, right? Who are we telling? And that is called company culture. That's why they're upset with y'all. That's what you're setting as your company culture. We're here to make things harder. Period.
Well, and there are some people who will say, yes, absolutely, we're here to make things harder for illegal immigrants.
You're so messy.
Yeah.
You can say that all you want, but it's not just making things harder for that population. You are doing it to that entire community. You are harming that whole city and that whole space by trying to put fear into people in that way. And if you don't understand, look, if you all just want to talk about the money, about the capitalism of it all, quite frankly, you're hurting capitalism by doing that stuff, right? There was a reason why folks were okay with this before, because it helped them with their profits by allowing folks who immigrated here to do certain jobs and works. We needed them for that purpose. Now trying to make them run away hurts the bottom line for every damn American, whether they are recognized as being citizens or not, or citizens in spirit and in hope. You hurt all of us. Stop being messy. Whatever game you want to play, whatever argument you want to have, I got it. We've done this. And you know why I got it? Because you've all been doing this as long as I can remember. This isn't new. And it's still not right, y'all.
Yes. Blind reaction.
I mean, don't pretend. I was going to say, I'm glad you finished it because I was about to. They didn't have to do that, though. When you take on the business and employees, when they are going through, and you know how I know this? It happened in California in the 80s and 90s to local communities in Central California, especially. Y'all, it's not new. These practices that these companies are doing, and they think they're so slick. I'm you're only slick because these communities here don't know about them, but you used to them too in California. So we already know them. So no, you didn't have to do that. You chose to do that. You chose to make that your policy because you were trying to push people out and make them fearful of you. And then that way they will take whatever you want to give them, which is less benefits and less pay. Let's not pretend that either.
They also said DFA has been active in the national conversation about the need for pragmatic solutions to address our nation's broken immigration policy.
Oh my gosh, you're the ones who break it, though. by choosing to do this. You're part of the problem. So what conversations are you having in an echo chamber with yourselves in the mirror? It's not with your workers. It's not with your teams. It's not with the actual communities that you're supposed to be serving and who serve you. And none of those people.
I, of course, did have some follow-up questions after the statement, which I did send them. They're yet to answer them, but possibly look out for another story as we discuss DFA's actions. I do also have some friends in the Kansas City Star who are very interested in also reporting on this story, since Dairy Farmers of America is based in Kansas City. So Madison 365 Kansas City Star joint projects.
I mean, we gotta get the word out. Let people know who you are. You said right now people are misunderstanding you and your positions. Well, here's another news source who will help them understand your position.
Mm-hmm. Yet another connection between Madison 365 and the Kansas City Star.
Let me know if they want me on their podcast.
Right. Our former intern Canal Phillips was a reporter there for a couple of years.
Yep, absolutely.
She was. She's actually at I think Kansas City PBS right now.
No, she was. She went to Kansas City PBS, and now she's back at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. They have a new community journalism project I think it's grant funded, and it's a multiple year thing where they're going to embed reporters in neighborhoods, kind of in the mode of Block Called Chicago, and she's the editor of that project.
Good for her. Not to jab at that project, but Milwaukee Neighborhood News does already exist.
I was going to say in the mode of Milwaukee Neighborhood News Service also.
Which her editor at the Kansas City Star also used to work for.
He's for Milwaukee Neighborhood. Oh, I didn't know that.
Dikonovich.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Journalism is a small world, guys.
It is a small world. So
be careful with the stories that you let all come out, because we all talk to each other and we're like, hey, where are you at over there? Here's that story for you. Please
don't send me statements with pretty debunkable lies.
Yeah.
I think that's the lesson at the end of the day.
It's always a good policy.
All right, Rob.
Should we turn the page to
your
local youth soccer?
Yeah.
And racism in it?
Oh, yay.
Possibly.
All right, I'm going to drink some water.
Possibly.
You lost her and you got her back.
All right, I'm back now. Let's go.
Monona Grove Football Club, Monona Grove Soccer Club. It's unclear whether they're a football club or soccer club. It doesn't really matter. They've been a volunteer-run youth club since 2008, and we're it's parent coaches, mostly just for fun. But it was growing, and they're trying to kind of professionalize this, not fully professionalize, but you know what I mean, ramp up a little bit. So they actually hired a director of coaching 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and kind of and started to have tryouts and things. They never had tryouts before, so it's just everybody who's 12 go out and be an ST. So they started to kind of organize it a little bit, formalize it a little bit more.
Formalize, maybe that's more.
And one of the things that sort of was a little fortunate was that one of the kids has a stepmom who played professionally in England.
Oh, that is
professionally in quote marks, because when she was playing, they didn't pay women yet.
Oh yeah.
in England.
What year was this?
2010, 11, 12.
Wow. Not as far as you'll think it.
Yeah, no.
It's only 15 years ago.
She was kind of the last generation that wasn't getting paid. Her name is Ashante Oregon. They call her Ziggy.
They pay the male players so much.
I know.
And they're not even that good. The male
NBA salaries, at least, for
no.
No. The women still don't get paid a lot.
Yeah.
But at that point they weren't. But she played for Chelsea.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Crystal Palace.
Oh my.
Millwall, which is now the women's team has spun off from Millwall. Apparently, they're London City Lionesses now. But she did all that and was still eligible to play NCAA in the United States because she didn't get paid.
She didn't get any pay. Yeah, no. She's right. Yeah.
So anyway, she's her parents are Nigerian and Jamaican, so she's black, grown up in Southeast London. And she's told me a few times that like I never knew I was black until I came to the United States.
Ooh, interesting. I love that conversation.
Very interesting conversation. She played for Ohio Valley and then Delta State and tore her Achilles in her final year and was therefore done playing, but had been coaching. In her first 5 or 6 years out of college, she was basically full-time traveling the United States coaching at these clinics and
makes sense.
camps.
Yeah.
All summer with there's companies that do that.
Uh-huh.
And
well, especially after what year was that? Where women's soccer?
Yeah, that was 16, 17.
Yeah, so it was the right time that would
ramping up. Yep. And the women in England were starting to get paid. So she settled in Wisconsin, coached in Oregon for a few years, then was a fitness trainer at Base Camp Fitness, and has recently joined the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce as a community outreach person. Kind of thought she was done with soccer, formally, professionally, and her wife's son was joining the U12 team at Monona Grove because they live in Monona, and he's like, "Can you please coach my team, please?"
Oh, of course. I was gonna say, I'm sure he was so.
And she's like, "All right, fine." So she goes, and what she'll tell you, people complain about her going to 0 to 60, and she says, "I go 0 to 90," which can be off-putting sometimes. And the director of coaching that I talked to, who has since resigned over this whole thing, by the way.
Oh.
Everything I'm about to tell you caused the director of coaching to resign. Said she's a hard charger. That's his, But
before we get
a great
coach for it, is that 0 to 90 miles per hour or kilometers?
In England, they do miles.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
I was in England. I know the HSU
system.
It's the imperial system? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Feet
know.
and miles is the imperial measure.
So what is kilometers and
metric?
I got questions about the language here.
I like to call them freedom units, so.
Because heaven forbid.
Anyway, so she joined this club as a coach, first of all, but as is her, and what she told me is like this personality is like, once I'm in with something, I'm all in.
Sure, yeah.
So she was like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's an athlete.
Yeah.
Yep. So she not only coached the team, she started running clinics and camps for Monona Grove kids specifically, and she got paid for those. She got paid as a coach. The coaches are all volunteers, but they all get paid like $1,000 a season just for their time.
Sure.
But they're all parents. None of them have licenses. That day has a license, but which is fine for a small local club, whatever. But then she actually joined the board of directors of the club also. They have coaches represented on the board. At the same time, sort of overlapping with this, and now that she's kind of back in soccer, she's like thinking about it more. She starts her own company called Zenove, which is like her side business as a motivational coach, fitness coach, soccer coach, whatever, coaching. I actually wrote a feature on that for Madison 365. We'll link to that in the show notes. And then a few months after that, while she was on the board of the Monona Grove Football Club, also started Zenove Foundation with the idea to raise money to provide scholarships for kids who can't afford the outrageous expense of
soccer.
Youth travel soccer.
Yeah, because look,
it's
a lot of money, and it makes it inaccessible for so many kids, especially those who are black and brown.
Yeah. Bring back local leagues.
I mean, but the local leagues are so expensive. Even that, even that is like, I'm amazed.
And when you have parents, and the way to like a college scholarship is through these elite, expensive clubs.
Yeah.
Elite in quote marks.
Yeah. But they're incredibly inaccessible.
Yes. Well, which is why like Millennium never have another LeBron James. Right? But so she's talking with the board of Monona Grove about Zenove Foundation. She's taking and they're supportive. The board chair even said, like, if you want us to like put Zenove on our website or something, that's fine. The only thing they were worried about was the MESA, the Madison Area Youth Soccer Association, has rules about poaching players.
Sure.
So you couldn't offer a kid from a different club a scholarship to come to Monona Grove.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. You could offer them a scholarship at their own club.
Yeah. Which is fair.
And they were like very cognizant of that. but the club was supportive of Zenove. While she was taking a bunch of meetings, fundraising for her foundation, she also got to talking with one community bank in Cottage Grove. And that conversation led to one community bank offering, or they sort of negotiated a deal where one community bank would give the club $5,000 a year for 4 years, $20,000.
Oh, wow.
To buy jerseys
Uh-huh.
and uniforms for the players.
So
which is a significant expense added on to.
Yeah.
So she secured that sponsorship.
That's great. So she negotiated that sponsorship for the entire club?
For the entire club. For the entire club.
The team she was coaching. So the entire club.
The entire club is going to get $5,000 a year for 4 years.
And
with an option to extend it for another 4.
Oh.
To buy jerseys and put the one community bank logo on the front of the jerseys.
Absolutely.
Everybody's happy about this.
Mm-hmm.
She also said, the Zenove Foundation will also pitch in right now because we just started last month. I will throw in another $540 to register one kid for this club.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And because I was able to secure the sponsorship, it wouldn't have happened without me. And I'm throwing in a little money, and I'll do more in the future years. I want to put the Zenove logo on the sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Of the shirt.
Yeah.
Which is where a secondary sponsor goes. The board said no to that. Or the board started to push back on it because they felt like this is a nonprofit club, which we'll get to that. We'll get back to the nonprofit status of the club. Let's address that right now because it's relevant right now. Because
are they 501c3?
No, they are not. No Foundation is, which is why if one community bank just wrote a check to the club, that would be basically an advertising purchase.
Yep.
Which is has tax liability.
But there's
if they give the money to Zenove Foundation and then Zenove Foundation gives it to the club, it's not clean. So it's going to be basically a pass through.
Yeah.
To the Zenove Foundation.
You have to be very mindful of it, though.
Yeah.
And careful of it, which is also why, though, she's like, I trust you all.
Right.
And also because I'm willing to be the middle person in this transaction.
Right.
I get my thing on the.
I'm going to put my little logo on the sleeve. They started to push back on that, and she said, "You know what? Forget it. Don't worry about it. I don't want it on there."
Okay. It was too much.
It was just like
too much trouble.
Too much trouble. She's also a board member at this point, by the way. So.
Okay.
So then, she pitches the idea of, I have not seen the financials of the club, so I can't verify how much money they had, but she thought they had enough money in the bank to be able to pay coaches more. And specifically, not just specifically to pay the current coaches more, but to attract professional coaches.
Yeah.
Licensed coaches. Like when we had kids in Mount Horeb, they hired like young players who are coaching in their off season
to help.
And these are like professional soccer coaches.
Yeah.
Who aren't parents of the club, or just like young coaches.
Yeah.
Because it changes the way you train by the way, I spoke with 2 parents from Ziggy's team who said that she was the best coach we've ever had. She's like, my kid has gotten better. My kid understands more. He's more excited about going to practice, about learning. So they
I was going to ask that. It's like, so how great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the parents love her. So also part of the professionalization purpose idea is Ziggy's idea was to get the kids training jerseys.
Yeah.
So you're kind of you're not in your game uniform at practice, but you're in a practice uniform.
Yeah.
Because got your number on it.
Because that is the process. Look, when you get into like even like any sort of traveling team, if you get the opportunity, or if you move into like middle school, high school, like or high school like level like things, that's what you do.
Yeah. So the original thought was that Zenove Foundation would buy those. She was originally going to seek sponsorship for those for the whole club. There's like hundreds of players, so much money, and these jerseys are like $40 each or something like that. So she said, "I'm going to buy them, and I'll put the Zenove logo on them since I'm buying them."
Yeah, for the whole.
Well, it ended up being just for her team.
Okay.
She's like, and the board said this was okay. The board couldn't buy the training kits for everybody. But ultimately said, if you just want to buy them for your team, that's fine. Just don't put Monona Grove on them, but just make it a Zenove logo, as a Zenove training shirt. That's fine. One community bank then came in
Of course.
and said, we'll give you another $1,500 to buy warm-ups, pants and sweaters for the kids.
Uh-huh.
And Ziggy's like, that's great. And he said, but we don't want to just buy them. We want to subsidize them. So can we ask every parent to chip in $20?
Sure.
So she emails out and says, everybody, if you can't afford $20, that's okay. We'll work it out.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We want everybody to pitch in $20. Nobody had a problem with this, including her assistant coach, who texted her $20, no problem.
Mm-hmm. This is good. Now I'm getting sad. Now I'm about to get...
July 24th, that assistant coach, who is also on the Zenova Foundation board of directors, by the way, sent a message to the board president of the club to say, do we have a problem with this? With this Zenova logo. So some parents.
So she's on her...
He's on the Zenova board, going around her to the club president,
saying
some people are worried that if they don't pay the $20, their kids aren't going to get playing time.
Some people are feeling that? What some people? Give me some names.
Yeah.
What some people are talking about?
But it says to the board president, please don't share my name. So he's a board member of Zenova, undermining Zenova. That's the problem.
But the other thing, too, is like, you're the assistant coach, right? Why don't you just have this conversation with your coach?
After you've already texted her saying $20 is fine.
Well, $20 is fine for him. He's implying that for others it may not be, or they don't feel...
Both the parents I talked to were like, no, we loved it. That was a great idea. $20 is not a problem.
Well, what I'm saying is, why wouldn't you bring this directly to her?
Right. Exactly.
Oh, because she...
So,
wait, can I ask?
Mm-hmm.
He white?
Every other coach in the club is white.
Is he white, though?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what it was. He was... All right.
So Marissa, the president of the board, sent that complaint without his name because he didn't want his name on it. So she sent that concern to Ziggy without his name.
Yeah.
But also sent it to the director of coaching with his name on it. And the director of coaching, sent it to Ziggy with the guy's name on it, saying you should fire him as your assistant coach. So she did that. She removed him from the Zenova board because he's undermining Zenova.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing harm to it without actually having conversations with the board and her up. So like, hey, what happens? And even just play a game of stereos. Like, what is her response if kids are feeling or parents are feeling this way?
Yep. And then the board went back to the director of coaching and said that there is a due process for terminating a coach. You didn't follow that. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize that also applied to assistant coaches. Okay, fine. We'll do the due process. So that assistant coach is basically reinstated at that point. Also at this time, because all of her proposals had been rebuffed, Ziggy just kind of got fed up with it and resigned from the board. I said, I just want to focus on coaching.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need me for? But you want me to bring these great ideas?
Or sponsorships.
Or $20,000. Yeah.
And that, you keep saying no.
But if you say no, so I'm just going to resign from the board and focus on coaching. And they said, that's fine. And also, in the same email, so we accept your resignation. We're going to miss your passion on the board, and go ahead and buy the training kits for your team. So this is like the end of July.
In writing, they wrote that.
Yes.
Okay, great.
End of July, early August. Okay, got to back up just a little bit here. Early July. Ziggy is. I mentioned I wrote a story about her from Ask Disney's Valley. I also interviewed her for my other podcast, my soccer podcast, and she was talking about. We talked 45 minutes.
Probably, yeah.
And she was talking about how, how she was playing at these high levels in England and not getting paid and not even getting noticed, really. She's like, I think, and what she said was something like, you can't find video of me playing on YouTube or anything like that. There was just no attention on us. And there was one newspaper clipping when I scored the winning goal in the FA Cup final for Millwall. That's the only thing media ever got. Well, that was an incorrect statement. This is the stupid thing I had to do to verify this, because I kind of tried to verify it and I didn't include it in my Master 365 story because I couldn't verify it. But it turns out it was not the FA Cup; it was the FA Women's Premier League Cup. Millwall is in both of those tournaments at the same time. Oh, so she just got confused which she said the wrong tournament. Yeah, and it wasn't the final; it was the final group stage game, which got purchased.
How many games did she play though?
Thousands. She's like, and I was 18.
Yeah. Thousands of
games.
You
tell me where to go play. I don't know even what tournament we're in half the time. Yeah. All she remembers is she comes on in the 84th minute, scores the winning goal against Brighton Hove Albion and everybody's carrying her off the field, and she's in the newspaper the next day, which she'd never been before.
Yeah.
So she makes a sort of offhand comment, and Rachel Fish, one of the board members, listens to that podcast apparently, and emailed her coaches from Millwall that she had in 2011.
Wait, I'm sorry.
And said,
wait. No, wait. The audacity is enough for me right now. Right now. It's enough. Right. You don't even have to tell me what she asked yet. Not yet. Don't tell me. I think we know. But she felt that she was entitled to go to this other person's board, this board member's other experience from 10, 15 years ago because of an offhand comment
that she felt wasn't true, which wasn't true. But
but no, it wasn't even true. But like, rather than go talk to your board member who coaches kids,
Ziggy was no longer a board member at this point. This is early August.
No. So she waits till early August.
August 10th is when she emailed those coaches.
It doesn't matter. She was a former board member
on coaching. By the way, on a club where
instead of asking,
it could have asked her.
Yeah.
Also,
it kind of doesn't matter in July. No. So they went. Wait a minute. Here's my other concern.
July 9th is when the podcast dropped.
So wait a minute. So they went back in August. They go back to a podcast that she was in July, looking for an error somewhere.
I assume that. I don't know that to be true.
Absolutely looking for it. Nobody remember. Look, I'm sure your podcasts are amazing, Rob. I'm sure they're great. But nobody remembers those kind of details, is what I'm saying. So maybe she did hear it the first time, but somebody went back because they were looking for something.
Well, and then they took the time to find the coaches who was coaching at Millwall in 2011 and 12. Which is...
You all and your need to be online detectives for every single thing.
Right.
Like, you think you're going to break something amazing and have this incredible moment. I don't know the end of this yet, but it's not going to be. It makes you look problematic as heck. Like, the idea that you are entitled to find something wrong because this black woman ain't following in line and keeps challenging us to do something different and is able to get money in a way that we can't, and then rejects us and doesn't do it the way that we want her to do it. But we liked her before when she was just this. And she was, she was from London. So she had an accent. So we loved her like this in this idea of her.
Yeah.
And this idea of her blackness.
Right.
And when that blackness seems to threaten or challenge you, or just tries to make you all better, now you are entitled to find everything that's wrong with her. And we're going to do some online detective work because we smart.
First of all, none of the other coaches in this club, they're all parents. They don't have professional playing experience. Absolutely. So it doesn't really matter.
But why was it now important now? You hired her already. Why is it important now?
Well, and here's the thing. Here's what with this Rachel Fish.
She volunteered already.
Right. And what Rachel Fish wrote in the email was, I'm the coaching director of this.
Oh, she lied.
And we are vetting Ashante Odegun for a position.
Oh, so they lied more.
Yeah. Which.
So they made it seem like...
It made it seem like I'm checking references. That I'm the coaching director. I'm going to hire this coach, but I'm checking references.
You're not special.
And even said...
Look, All Murders in the Building is ruining folks because she thought in the end she'll get a podcast. Stop watching Hulu.
Well, and even said, like, she claimed on this podcast that she scored the game-winning goal in the FA Cup final for Millwall. We've already proven that false.
See? Listen to the language that they're using here.
Yes. But so we just want to make sure it prompted us to dig deeper.
Did it prompt you to dig deeper? No,
and both coaches, by the way, responded like right away.
Yeah.
Because it's on a Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, it was on a Sunday?
One of them's still in London. One of them is in New York now. Both responded. And both immediately forwarded those emails to Ziggy.
Because you know what, friends? Good folks hang out with good folks no matter how many years is between them.
And both of them said, yeah, she played for me. She was great. She's a excellent presence on the club. Really passionate player. One of them was like, I don't remember goals specifically from 15 years ago, and the other one said, yeah, I do. As we said, Ziggy was a defender, didn't score very many goals, so scoring a goal, especially a game-winning goal in an important cup match, is memorable.
Yeah.
But even the other coach was like, I think it was against Lewis. Yeah. But no, it was against Brighton. But whatever.
What are you taking deeper for?
But both of them were like, we don't know what's happening over there, but like this lady's checking out.
You know what's going on over there? We see racism over here. Heads up.
So
protect yourself.
So Ziggy immediately called Marissa, the chair of the board, and Marissa's like, "Oh, I had no idea."
Did not
doing that.
And if you didn't, you should have.
Right.
Why would you let somebody who's on your board represent you all like that? How are you all like proud of that and feel like you're like this is good and entitled to that?
Well, and I did ask the club, would she face any consequences for representing herself as a director?
Lying to a couple of people who are professional in their work and they're in the space, then tried to like.
And the club didn't respond to that question.
Oh, I bet they did it.
August 11th, so that's August 10th. I'm not sure exactly what happened in those 10 days. But between like the whole kerfuffle over the practice jerseys,
somebody watched Omar and Rob in the building and thought they could do a podcast in the end of it.
Well, and you're right. She was anticipating
something dramatic,
finding some big thing,
because
what she didn't anticipate was
they all
kind of back her up and tell her
what was going on.
So August 11th, they fired Ziggy.
Oh my God! For what?
Well, they didn't say.
Oh, of course they didn't. What was their due process? So wait a minute. I thought there was a due process.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. They did say there was the preliminary decision, and she had 48 hours to appeal. And she basically wrote, and that's when she called me. Yeah. And then she wrote back to them saying, "I don't know what I'm appealing. So can you tell me what I'm appealing?" Yeah. And they
because that's the due process, right?
Right. And they wrote back and said, "We're firing you for violating bylaws and ethical policies." And she's like,
which bylaws?
Which ones? What did I do specifically?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. If you're talking about due process requires clarity and information. If you're saying you violated these things, but not explaining how, and also the fact that she has to email to ask, like, what are you firing me for? And they still don't have an answer for you? How is that due process? And how does she only have 48 hours if they're not ready with the information yet?
Right. And she wrote back and said, you got to tell me specific allegations. Give me specific things that I did wrong. Because by the way, there was one complaint about a post-game speech from a guest player, which the director of coaching and Ziggy had dealt with and like resolved.
Are you sure?
That was the only thing she could think of. That's the only thing that when I talked to Andy, the coaching director, that's the only one he could remember.
Yeah.
Regarding Ziggy. She said, tell me specifically. And they wrote, and she kind of like pushed him on a couple of emails.
Of course, because she's.
And there's like the day or so, Wednesday, the 13th or so. They were like, well, we're a volunteer nonprofit organization. We don't have a lot of staff. So give us till Friday to do our due diligence.
You're not supposed. Wait a minute.
Due diligence is supposed to come first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, are you all not know how to do due diligence? Look, you all work somewhere. You know this process. Look, here's the thing. Stop co-opting language that you don't understand or use properly. You can't say you're doing your due diligence and then offer due process without doing your due diligence or understanding how that works.
Yeah. So.
And what did they think? You know what they thought? Well, she's just going to take it. We don't have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't recognize. Sure. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
So when they did finally send her the allegations on Friday last week, and then they had a hearing earlier this week where the one of the board members was kind of interrogating her with this.
This is not what you Law and Order. Stop watching.
Oh my gosh! It's
Law.
Yes. Because I heard a recording of this meeting. And he was asking, like, where did you play in England? And she was like, are we going to talk about the actual allegations?
What? See, look.
Or not.
It is not a Senate hearing. You're all not that important.
And he's asking, like, is it in all the clubs that you've coached for? Are there expectations of the coaches? And she's like, yeah, usually they give it to them in writing and I sign it.
Yeah. Did they do that?
I think they did. I don't know if they did. And she's like, I mean, yes, obviously. Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. Look, y'all, she's been a professional player for years. Of course, there's been expectations. She probably helped you write yours, or at least like edit them a little bit more.
So what is the allegation?
Well, okay. The specific allegations are There's a video. We don't need to get too down. There's
We've already
there's one the one post game speech complaint that everybody knew about. They noted they said there was a practice where she was berating players for 15 minutes.
So why wasn't it dealt after that practice? If there was, wait a minute. Here's my concerns when all these things happen. When did that happen, and why was that not discussed?
Well, the other one is during the game. She was yelling at players, and the ref came and told her to settle down, and she did the coach thing, like put her hand up to the ref, like, I'm not talking to you. And she yelled at her kids, do you feel berated? And they were like, no, coach. But still, she was being sassy to the ref.
Yes, I'd be sassy to the ref. I'm sassy all the time.
You get in trouble for that.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
But nobody said anything at the time.
Yeah, say something at the time. And also, do you know how many times Rob, and the number of children that we have raised has been sassy to a ref in a season, every other game.
Whether as a coach or just a parent.
Or as a parent. Do you know how sassy Rob has been? And he has volunteered coach. I don't know for how many years. It's exhausting. We have so much stuff still. We have polls, still the flag polls.
We have a corner flag in our
yard. Yes, absolutely. We have so many of them. And do you know how many times Rob has gotten fights? Not fights, but disagreements or whatever, or given sass to a ref?
Mm-hmm.
So many times.
Yeah.
And if there's a concern, it's dealt right after the thing.
But it's also a competitive thing.
Yes.
People are riled up. Sometimes you yell at the players.
But sometimes what seems like yelling is your voice being louder as well. But the issue is, and I'm going to call you all out on this, who are you more concerned about yelling? A black woman? Absolutely. You have decided her loud voice in coaching is her yelling at your kids, because heaven forbid a woman have a loud voice, let alone a black woman. That's what made you uncomfortable. And you have no skills in the game to be talking about it because you all don't know better, because this is a kid's sport.
Right.
This woman has been doing this kind of work since she was a child and have gone to the competitive level, both in another country and here.
Mm-hmm.
But you thought with her British accent that she would be a different kind of black person for you all. Right? Like, let's not pretend and play like you all thought her, and this is what she's talking about. She didn't experience this kind of stuff until she got here. And I absolutely 100% believe it, because we can't control ourselves with regards to how folks who seem to have a little bit of power makes us uncomfortable, especially when they're black, especially when they're black women. It is a mess. You all have now an issue with her having a different voice tenor or tone because she's a black woman. And what also drives you all crazy is that she was better at it than all of you. She was better at fundraising. She was better at coaching. She was better at organizing. She was just better at it than all of you. Of course she was. She's a better athlete. She's a better coach because she's been doing it for years. So she was an expert. And you were okay with her being an expert in a certain kind of way, not in all things as well as administrative. You wanted to pigeonhole her. She can only exist in this way for us. If she existed beyond that, oh no, we're threatened and we can't name it. That's why this whole so how are you all charging me on? What is all the things that I violated?
Yeah.
They couldn't come up with anything real or substantial.
Well, but all of these violations, except for the one, actually violate their own bylaws, because the bylaws say the director of coaching will bring coaching issues to the board. So then we will go through the termination process. Nobody ever brought those complaints to the director of coaching.
Oh, no.
So therefore, he could not bring them to the board.
Wait.
Even he didn't know about them.
So they also violated their own due process.
Yeah.
You all, this is just racism. This is just entitlement to our idea of who black women are supposed to be.
Yeah. And in addition to those sort of specific practice and game incidents, they did cite the $1,500 sponsorship for her team, which they say wasn't approved by the board, which is true, because she heard them say, go ahead with your own thing for these jerseys. And so she thought, okay, they want to give me money to buy beyond the jerseys. They want to buy the warm-up.
Sure.
And so she didn't take that back to the board.
She just heard, go do your own thing, how you want to do it.
Yes.
You know what, board? It is on you as well to put that in writing and make sure to put in what the barriers and the parameters are.
Right. But also they brought up something from last fall when she asked her team, is it okay if I bring a photographer to our practice to get some photos for my foundation website? If you don't want your kid in any pictures, say so. And we'll have everybody who agrees to be in the picture sign a waiver.
That's pretty standard.
Totally standard.
For everything. And if you
one
don't
of
do
the
that
things they're
practice,
firing her for is requiring kids to sign waivers.
what?
Like that's
Do you know how much of a liability it is to photograph minors without permission?
And have them on a website? And
well,
look,
but they're saying like that she was making them like against their will sign the waivers or something.
how is she making them against her will?
No.
Did she say like you're off the team? How are they making her? How is she doing that?
But they were assuming that. Like,
so they took it on an assumption without actually doing a due process.
Well, nobody actually, to be honest, nobody assumed that at the time.
Of course not. They
Now
were
they're
looking for
bringing that
something
up.
else because they're fishing for something. And here's the thing: why wouldn't you have done it at the time? Why wouldn't you
Or
have brought it
raise
up?
an exception because she did. She explicitly asked permission from the board.
No, I'm
Is
saying
it
if
okay?
the board was concerned about it right after that incident. Why not bring it up at the time?
Why give her permission to do it in the first place?
Or if you learned afterwards, like, hey, some kids felt a certain way about it, or some families did. Why wouldn't you bring it up in the time so it doesn't happen again, and harm the rest of? Like, why wouldn't you try to resolve things?
Right. So they did have a hearing. She did where they were doing the Law and Order routine, and they did
the Law and Order routine, song and dance.
She was able to defend herself basically and explain. You didn't bring any of this up at the time.
No, how is this?
You're not going through any
what is your process? How you'll not realize you violated your own process that you are all now trying to hide behind?
Right. That was Monday night, I think, and then Wednesday they got the final determination that she was fired.
Yeah, sure. Because they can't be proven. They can't. Here's the thing, y'all. Doing right and being right, two very different things.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be right. They weren't trying to do right. And they couldn't even be right within like actual evidence or ways to like do this process well.
As we record on Thursday afternoon, Ziggy and the Zenove Foundation board have a meeting with one community bank.
Oh, no.
Who doesn't really know what's happening yet. So, if there's any news out of that meeting, I'll add it here. All right, just jumping in here quick for an update. Coach Ziggy Odegan did have that meeting with one community bank Thursday late afternoon. Because it was so late, I haven't been able to connect with the bank to get their thoughts or confirm anything. But what Ziggy told me is that the bank told her that they are still supportive of Zenove Foundation. And that was basically it. They didn't say, we're pulling the sponsorship. They didn't say we're definitely doing the sponsorship. It's sort of like, we're going to continue to talk about and think about the sponsorship. The other development is that, the board emailed the parents of that team, of Ziggy's team, and told them that they're going to have a meeting this weekend to answer their questions and concerns, but also that they had filed a report with the United States Center for Safe Sport, which is an entity that investigates and enforces rules and regarding abuse of children. A lot of what they deal with is like sexual abuse, and but also physical, verbal, emotional abuse as well. The board said in that email to the parents that they had submitted supporting materials in their report to the U.S. Center for Safe Sport. I have not seen those supporting materials, and neither has Ziggy. I don't know what those supporting materials would be. I think the only thing in the list of allegations that they've fired Ziggy for that seems to be within the realm of safe sport is that one post-game speech when she was said to have berated the players in an elevated tone of voice for 15 minutes. She says it was more like 5 minutes. but one guest player's parents did file a report with Madison Area Youth Soccer Association, MESA, and that was dealt with at the time. So I'm not sure why they would feel the need to report it to Safe Sport now. That was back in April. So I don't know. But anyway, those are the developments, and now back to the show. But I mean, I think I think it's realistic to think that without Zenove Foundation involved,
yeah, they can't do anything because they're not a 501c3.
I would say Ziggy has said she's willing to still let it pass through Zenove Foundation.
No, she should not, because here's the thing: it's a liability for her foundation because they're already upset with her, so they're going to blame her for something else.
Yeah.
She should be mindful and careful and make sure that she stays out of like any other trouble with these folks, and she should sue them.
Well, I would.
Also, I'm going to put in the show notes the Zenove Foundation information if you would like to give.
I would also say that I've been told by several different people that they think Winona Grove Football Club has applied for and has received C2 status like within the past couple of months. I can't find them on any of the databases.
And that's all public information. Everyone else, you can look for ours. We have ours.
Zenove Foundation is listed.
Yep. So if they,
as of April 2025,
until they are on that website, it's a
you can't write them a $20,000 check.
No.
You can, but there's
there's a tax.
Club will get taxed on it.
And that's why they're and any donation they receive, they get taxed on it.
Yeah. But also, it would be an advertising purchase, which is unrelated business income, which Madison 365 was all about that.
I know. We've burned.
That's like thing we wrestle about in our 90s every year.
So it lasted for per count it.
What's a sponsorship and what's an ad? Depends who you talk to. But they would run into that same problem.
Yeah.
If they're not 501c3.
Yeah.
And or they don't use Zenove as a pass through. So I think this whole thing might cost the club $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
Their first ever actual sponsorship.
Yeah, I believe it.
The other thread of this that I'm pulling on is that there is another coach within the club who has a foundation.
Oh no! You are a mess.
For focus on the betterment of youth soccer.
I bet.
Who has offered to do some sort of sponsorship for the club? That's all I know. I don't know who that is. Ziggy doesn't know who that is. It was just sort of mentioned in an email. Don't know if that person has faced these same sort of self-dealing
issues,
whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I don't.
Or did it hold everybody to the same standard? Like you pick all their background.
Yes, I shouldn't say that as a fact. I should say Marissa Andrews told Ziggy that there was such another coach. Because Marissa was basically trying to sell Ziggy a $4,000 sponsorship to put her logo on backpacks. And saying that I come up with $4,000 because that's what this other coach offered. Mm-hmm. Who knows if that coach really exists? I don't trust these people tell the truth all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll look into that a little further. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about this one coach at this one suburban youth soccer club.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's worth talking about because it's indicative of, as you said, something like white people having a hard time, we'll welcome Black and brown people into our spaces in a certain role.
In a very specific way. Otherwise, we feel uncomfortable, and we don't know why that is. It must be their fault.
Right.
Not instead of looking inward and be like, oh, the systems that I've worked in and been part of have often allowed me to move in certain directions.
Right. Or just saying, wow, Ziggy, thank you. This is so amazing that you got us $20,000 and you're bringing all your certain
part that you're like you can name things, y'all. You can name I'm not sure why I have questions, and I think it has more to do with me than with you. So but I do appreciate this. And just name that stuff, y'all.
I would say that reminds me of there was a text exchange among the board when Ziggy was on the board, when she was talking about basically fundraising for the club kind of through Zenove channels, and and basically being the pass-through for the sponsorship. And he said, just as doing the white person thing, the devil's advocate thing that we do. And said,
there's no such thing.
And he said, how would you feel if I like used my church to do a fundraiser for the club, and that was he posted that as a hypothetical question
Because
that's what he was thinking. He's like, just like insert a different nonprofit organization. He's like, I just like to test things.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You think you're that smart. Look, go ahead, finish the thing before I go ahead.
Well, and Ziggy didn't read it as hypothetical. She read it as literal. She's like, oh, you're going to have a fundraiser at your church? That's awesome. When is it? And he was like, no. I meant like, I was just questioning the whole idea. And then he immediately switches to, I love that it's a win-win.
Look,
Great.
I am going to remind you all very, very simply. Playing devil's advocate is all about recentering power and privilege. It means defending dominant and or oppressing views for the sake of debate. Because you are too passive aggressive to acknowledge this makes me uncomfortable. I'm not sure why. How do I have this conversation? Can I have this conversation with you a little bit differently? Or blah, blah. Own it. Right? Like pretending that you are a devil's advocate. The devil don't need no lawyer. Devil got it. Have you not read that thing called the Bible and any other like historical story around the devil? Like that man, that thing, that entity, he got it. He don't need no help whatsoever. Go ahead.
My favorite thing to do when people say, I'm going to play devil's advocate, I like to say, you don't have to. You don't have to do that at all.
Just say what you think.
Yeah.
Just be genuine about how you're feeling.
Those are your opinions.
Yeah.
Just don't pretend. Don't play like I'm gonna mask myself as the devil to share how I feel. Like no, not whatsoever. And don't like it. Also removes you from being genuinely part of a conversation. Like if you are seriously around this thing, and it's about try to figure out how to be right instead of do right. That's all it is. So remember that this little game of playing devil's advocate, nothing more than to defend dominant or oppressive views.
He didn't say that I want to be devil's advocate, but that's 100% what he was doing.
Oh, yeah, here's the thing. You don't have to say it either. If you want to wear that mask without telling me you're wearing the mask, I still know what you're doing.
So I'll follow this up, as I mentioned, with whatever happens with One Community Bank. I'm sure there'll be some pushback, or there'll be some reaction from parents. I think a lot of the parents in the club, like everybody on Ziggy's team knows what's happening, but I think the rest of the club kind of doesn't. Mm-hmm. They will now. Before we button this up, I'll say it occurs to me that if members of the board or leaders of the Monroe Football Club went back and listened to the other podcast, they're probably listening to this one.
That's cool.
And you might be upset that I heard the recording of that meeting. It was not illegal. Okay. Before I know you've written it down, illegal recording. It wasn't illegal.
Because that's the other thing people are doing right now.
Yeah.
And give context to why it's not
Wisconsin is a one-party state.
Yep.
As long as one party knows that they're being recorded, is legal. And Ziggy knew she was being recorded. So
recorded yourself. Like, y'all, you got
scratch that off your.
And also, anything part of this that makes you feel defensive, explore that. Like, anything that we've said that has made you feel defensive, explore that. Take some time to explore and try to understand why that might be and why that might be a challenge. And look, absolutely, I'm hearing this as I'm hearing it, and that's how I'm reacting. It's okay to hear hard things. Like, and maybe think about your processes differently. Think about how they serve them. Think about how your systems are doing harm and how being more transparent of what made you uncomfortable and having that real conversation might make you all better people to serving that club and those kids.
One of the parents told me this club is as transparent as a brick.
Oh, I bet. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, y'all. Time is something that's always escaping us. And maybe it is time that is making it difficult for you to be transparent. But eventually, you have to acknowledge that your role of prioritizing communication and transparency to folks is more important than the title that you have. And maybe you're not the best person for that work and that role anymore.
Yeah. And maybe most important of all is what the director of coaching who resigned over this said to me is, can we all remember this is a game kids are playing for fun?
Yeah.
Oh.
And we're trying to make this accessible?
Yeah, we're trying to invite more kids to play this fun game that we all love.
And get excited about it because it builds community and safety and skills.
When was it about the kids in any of this process before? You can't cop out at the last second. Think about the children.
Now we care about what their opinions are. Okay, whatever.
I am just now realizing that I have met Ziggy a few different times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like Black Chamber events, stuff in the community that I've covered. Didn't even remember.
Well, it's happier you're feeling. It probably does. Let's be honest.
I'm terrible at remembering people's names.
Yeah. All right, friends. We're going to go ahead and take a
All
break.
for this week.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to take a break? Come back with a question?
Oh, yeah. We had to do a question.
We are supposed to do it.
We're going to do a question. This is a very long podcast. That's Rob's fault. But also, maybe a little bit of Omar's.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. And mine's just going to be a little bit silly because it's been really, really it's a really heavy episode. So what very Wisconsin thing that only sort of exists here is your favorite thing about Wisconsin that you look forward to, whether it's seasonal, whether it's like experience every day, but it's like, this is the best here and I will only get it here.
Oh, the best?
Yeah.
Mine was a criticism.
Right. But that's fine too.
When you think about eating cheese, it sounds horrendous to eat a whole pound of it.
I agree.
But when you get them deep fried in balls, suddenly,
Only a whole pound is just the beginning of the appetizer.
that's a light snack.
Why is that a criticism? I don't know.
That's so much cheese. No one is supposed to eat that much cheese.
This is why you're all lactose intolerant. I've decided everybody is lactose intolerant.
Everyone is lactose
Everyone's
intolerant.
lactose intolerant. And then it's worse when you come to Wisconsin.
The majority of adults, we figured this out, that the majority of adults can't actually process that much lactose. As you grow up, your body's ability to process that severely diminishes.
Yep.
And if you don't go with that same childhood intake of lactose, your intolerance for lactose will grow. If you just decide not to eat any lactose for like 2 weeks, you will become completely lactose intolerant. There is a lot of research about this. And you're eating a whole pound of deep fried cheese?
For one occasion, because it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you do cheese well.
It's good. But no one is meant to eat that much cheese.
Fried.
Eat like
Miserable.
People who are even more Wisconsin than I am
Mm.
would say sheep's head.
Oh, I don't know
But
what that is.
I will say euchre.
Oh yeah. Is that Midwest or is that Wisconsin?
It's
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I've met a few people from Michigan who play, probably from the UP, who are Wisconsin adjacent, obviously.
They've learned it from folks from
Like,
Wisconsin.
my dad was a big sheep's head player. I grew up playing euchre, which is kind of a simplified version of sheep's head, but still a very complicated game if you're not from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
If you are from Wisconsin, you just learned it like walking and talking. But to try to explain it to somebody,
No, you
not
have to
Wisconsin,
play it. You just have
is difficult,
yeah.
right?
But also euchre already doesn't make too much sense when anyone tries to explain it to anyone.
No, you
No,
just have
it's,
to-
I mean, that's why it's difficult to explain because it doesn't make any sense.
No, that's why it doesn't leave outside.
But also when you're playing it and you're just like the cards are flying and boom, 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 and 30 seconds later, everybody knows who got the point.
Do y'all play for money here? I feel like y'all should make maybe.
I only play cards for money.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's how I play cards.
We used to have my mom's family used to have tournaments
Oh, okay.
when there was
I
a
just
pot.
wondered. I don't know many people who like play for money, and so I was thinking about like, do you
No,
play for
it's
money?
mostly
Socializing.
it's mostly to have a reason to sit around a table and drink and talk
I was gonna say any cheese balls.
and eat cheese balls. Yep. But if you were just like put 4 people on a table just to sit and chat, it would be awkward. But if there's cards in your hand and there's like
So we don't have to talk.
And every-
Share our feet.
and everybody's like, and then right, exactly. But then you talk and you get on tangents and you share your feelings, and then somebody goes, "Do you want spades?" And you're like, "Oh no, pass." You know.
I have a theory
What's your theory?
that dice should be America's greatest pastime.
I like dice.
It's
I win it.
everyone would enjoy it. I wish what
Fake dice when I see
would
it.
embrace shooting dice.
I love dice. I grew up on it.
Yeah.
I know fake dice when I see it. You know when you played it. You people. I would. Never mind. I should.
Okay. So
King. a little piece of cardboard on the ground, prepare to pass on. You can do it anywhere, and everyone hates.
Everybody hates it.
Except for the winner.
All right, California girl, what's your...
So we do cheese better than you all do. I'm just kidding. We just do it better.
You do more. Because
We just do it better.
Milk.
Well, I don't know. I don't drink milk. I actually don't have cheese because I am lactose intolerant, so I don't do ice cream.
As is the majority of adults.
Out loud. I say it out loud. I was thinking about this for a little bit. I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to think about what I thought someone was going to say, like fish fry, which I haven't had. Who does it well here better than anywhere else that I've ever had, even when I attended bar, was an old fashioned. An old fashioned here is absolutely different than it is anywhere else where I've been before. You all do that well. I don't get it all the time, but like there is a way that is specific to Wisconsin. If you go to a good Wisconsin like supper, I haven't been to a supper club. I don't get those either. But like a Wisconsin bar, like that can do that.
The worst Wisconsin bar is old fashioned.
It's
better
yeah,
than any old fashioned
and
anywhere else.
Anywhere else in the world. Like the smallest bar with the 5 people that go there every night can make that drink like a winner.
You know what? Cheese balls, euchre, and old fashioned. I think we've put together a great Friday night.
I'm not going though.
This is all after the fish fry.
Yeah. So, all right, friends, we'll be back next week.
365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a non-profit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org and follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.